Tommy Allen from TommyAllenMusic.com. Today I got the pleasure of speaking with Trevor Babajack Steger, nominated for Best Acoustic Act 2020 with the UK Blues Awards, so come and check it out. How you doing, Trevor? I'm delighted to have you with me here today, and I've heard on the grapevine and I've seen on your Facebook and that you've been in the studio in March, so can you tell me more?
I've just recorded. Well, I've recorded a new album, and it's being mixed now. He sent me a few roughs through, and I'm really pleased with it. It's going to be called "The Solemn Truth and Barefaced Lies."
Oh, okay.
It's just like stories of songs that I've written about my life, you know. But some of them have got slight embellishments on, you know.
Oh wow!
And on my last album, I kept everything live, you know, and live and direct as it came.
Yeah.
And this time I've added not a lot, but maybe a bit more percussion, and I put a backing vocals. Or a girl, my stepdaughter, she came in with some backing vocals. We put a djembe on one track. You know, so I've added a little bit. You know, I'm not too. It doesn't matter if it's not completely live, if you know what I mean. But nothing too dramatic.
Right. Okay. And is it one man again?
Yeah.
And it's all original stuff.
It is all original, yeah. I'm doing one cover, but I'm what's it called? Nobody's Fault But Mine, but a completely different version. Well, I think anyway, same vocal line, but yeah, that's the only cover I'm putting on as a little nod to, times gone by.
Oh man, and what? Because I haven't spoken to you for a long time, really. Last time I saw you was with the duo Babajack. So what happened there?
Oh, that finished about 3 years ago. I don't know. Like the relationship finished because we were we had a partner. You know, we're partners. And that fell through. And then we kept the band going for a few more years. And then we both got different partners. And my heart went out of it a bit, really. So and it was. We were becoming more of a band thing, and I always quite liked the duo. So I sort of ducked out of it. I started doing some solo stuff, and then the band gave me a sort of ultimatum, whether it's them or the band, really. And I said, well, I think I'd bow out a bit. But it was my name, so I said, well, I'm still keeping Babajack within my name because it came from. I used to live in Zimbabwe. Over there working for VSO in an African village, and I had my first son there called Jack, and so the locals, the Shona people, called me Babajack, father of Jack. So I wanted to keep the name, so now I'm Trevor Babajack Steger, so and Babajack, the band, have finished now. They finished a couple of years ago. So
and how did you feel going from that into doing it on your own?
Well, I never used to sing much with the band, so I, had to sort of, it's another skill to learn, isn't it, really? But I prefer it. I came in through the Delta blues sort of genre, what have you, and I always liked the single man and a guitar. Do you know what I mean? So I felt like this is where I should be, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I've got my stomp box and my harmonica, mic'd up, and my guitar and a vocal. I'm not missing anyone. Do you know what I mean? I feel like in the head, you know what I mean? I close my eyes, I get into this bubble, and I don't feel like. And the beautiful thing about it is, you can go off on a tangent. Do you know what I mean? You can do whatever you want, which maybe is a bad thing sometimes, but it's. I think it's delivering the purest form that I can deliver personally.
Well, you've been getting some good reviews, by the way. You've been nominated for the Best Acoustic Act 2020 and stuff. So,
that blew me away. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I was dancing around. I found out in the workshop here, and I was like dancing around. I must admit, I wasn't cool about it. Yeah. Also, coming from the band, you feel like you've got something more to prove. I can do this by myself, and so I just felt like, wow, that's good. I felt good about it. Approval.
That was from your first album, wasn't it? Sawdust Man. That was released in 2018.
Yeah.
And how did that go? How did that, from releasing it? That was your first one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So on my second one now, the first one, I'm still selling it. I did a live stream in a couple of days. Was it last week? I forget. But I sold a few online, and they're still going out. So
good.
And the people are still playing on the radio station, and people still liking it. So
And that's what led to this nomination.
I presume so. I don't know. I have been, as you know, I tried to gig quite, all over the country. So I think, it's just getting out there, isn't it, and doing it. And hopefully, people like what you do. And so...
Yeah, and was that all original on the first one?
It was, yeah. It was more like, because I came out solo, and there were songs that I just wanted to put me, like, a dog marking its territory. I mean, so I wanted an album out there to get me on the road as a solo artist, which it did. And this album, I think, the songwriting, I feel they've developed. I think I'm developed as a solo artist. That's what I would like to feel anyway. But you have to judge. I'll be judged upon it, I'm sure.
And is it all done in house? All the marketing and the release of it?
Yes. Yeah.
The promotion side and.
Yeah. I mean, I spent, you put adverts in a couple of magazines and Blues and Roots Radio. You can, advertise on there. But yeah, it's all from myself. Yeah.
And is there anything you'd do differently this time?
Well, I don't think so. No, I'm going to do it the same way. I think. I use centric music a little bit, but. From a PRS, and they say that they advertise, but I don't know how well they did. I'm not sure really.
Right.
But and I used a TuneCore.
Okay.
The digital
for downloads.
Stuff. Yeah. So I think I'll do all that again through the same people.
So who's your biggest influences?
As I said earlier, I like all of the the early stuff, the Charlie Pattons and the Furry Lewis and all those guys. Obviously Robert Johnson, but these days, Chris Whitley.
Yep,
I quite like that guy, and he's doing some good stuff. I can't really think of many people at the moment.
Is it 50-50 with guitar players and harp players, or?
Yeah, I would say it was really.
So you still listen to Sonny Boy and Little Water and all that stuff as well as.
Yes. Yeah, I listened to what's his name? Who's the bass player who wrote My Babe? I listened to that today with just before
Willie Dixon.
Willie Dixon with Big Water Horton on the harp.
So what's the favourite song you've written and why?
Off this new album, there's a couple. There's one called River's Got a Red Dress On.
Okay.
Which it is one of these songs that came, I woke up in the morning and there was a massive sunrise and everything was red. The river was red, the sky was red, everything. And within a couple of, like an hour or so, I had a song. And I'm pretty proud of that, really. It's pretty. I feel like it's quite a whole song. Do you know what I mean? For me,
okay.
It's got all. But on the album, the other thing on the album, I've written a song called "Ain't Going Down This Road Again."
Okay.
And it's actually actually like a Zimbabwean jit sort of rhythm, but I can hear sort of country blues in it, but. That also is a real catchy song. If I'm going to have a breakthrough song, it's like this African sounding song. I've played it to people a few, and people think it's commercial. You know what I mean? It's got a chorus line to it, and it's got a bit of a rhythm to it.
Where did you write that?
I wrote that. I just wrote it in the workshop here, actually. Okay. Yeah, and it's just about. Sort of regretting some of the things, getting drunk and falling over and stuff like that, Yeah, right. I mean, the first line is something like, the solemn truth and a barefaced lie. I've got mud on my shoes and blood in my eye. That sort of. And I got this djembe player. Well, no, he's a reggae singer. What's his name? Ben Akafor.
Okay.
I was using his desk in the studio to record his big analog thing, and he came and put some fantastic. He comes from Nigeria, and he put some fantastic djembe on. I asked him, I didn't even hear him play before, but he said, "Oh, can you put some of the stuff on?" And he put a blinder on it, so that actually, you know, brings it to this African feel, you know. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, so I'm excited about that song also.
When's that going to be released? This album?
Well, as I say, it was going to be mixed, and I was thinking about May, June time, but I may put it back a bit now. I can't see the point really unless I want to release it and gig it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you know, if I look towards the end of the summer now, or even early, you know, October, November time, you know.
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
But it's still in the mix process, you're saying, so it's not.
Yeah. I've had some of the rough mixes back, and yeah, so it's not.
Who's mixing it?
Well, a guy called Paul Jones from Moo Moo Music from Malvern. They got a studio and they're sound people. They recorded. He recorded the last album also. He's got some fantastic mics, and so he's mixing it. Last time I got it mastered up in Wales, but he reckons they're going to master it in house as well. So. You know, he knows what I like now from the first album. I wanted something, you know, really earthy, you know, and you know, you can hear the thumb and what have you know, something sort of bassy and real.
Okay.
You know, like the old chess records and stuff. If you close your eyes, you feel like you're in there, don't you? You know what I mean? You know, something real. I think for the last album, you know.
So what's that guitar behind you?
Oh. This one is this is a Slingerland Maybell.
Okay.
And I went round, because I'm a woodworker. I went round to someone's house, and he was a dustbin man. He didn't know I played guitar, and he wanted me to repair a table. And on this table was this guitar in a really old battered case, and the neck had fallen off, and it was the top had come off. And you know, it was unplayable. And he said, "I'll tell you what, if you do the table, I'll swing this guitar in as well." So like, oh, okay then. So I looked on the bottom, and on the floating on the tailpiece, it's got Slingerland made in Chicago. Right. So I looked it up, and it's a Maybell made in the 1920s, 1930s in a factory in Chicago. And so I took it right apart, took the top off. All the struts inside had come off, so I re-glued it all. I took the neck off, the neck was bent, straight in the neck. Glued it back on, sanded it up, refinished it, and yeah. I just love it now. But
what's it, to? G or D there? Or?
In D. Just got, and it's slightly celloed, you know, from the back and the front, you know, and for nothing. So yeah, he just gave it me, you know.
And you fixed his table.
So, yeah, and he paid me for fixing the table, you know. So I was well chuffed.
Is it one you take out or just for recording?
I have taken it out a couple of times, but because I use those wine box guitars, and I also take it, I'm starting to play Weizenborn as well. But also a resonator. It's a bit quiet, do you know what I mean?
Right.
I could put a better pickup on it, but it doesn't seem to have a place in my live bits, if you know what I mean. So, but I've written a few songs from the album with it, so you know.
Right. Okay. So, what is your setup now then? Do you going straight with the different guitars into the PA, or you got like a pedal thing?
No, that's the other thing I've started in the last maybe year. I've got a small pedal rack. Well, all I have is an analog digital delay, a chorus, and an acoustic booster pedal. What else do I have? And that is it really, and a tuner. And so I plug into that into my an AER amp.
Yep.
And the AER, I've bought one of these JBL Eon column speakers with a 10-inch, and the sound, well, I think it's fantastic. It's really cool, you know.
But you have different guitars, so they all going into that the amp, and then from the amp into the PA.
Yeah.
And that's a line out, isn't it, from the amp? I think.
Yeah. And so I yeah. So yeah, no, I sort of set them all to the same level, and yeah. So obviously, when I play my wine box guitars, I just have them with no effects on. But when I put on the Weizenborn, I put a little bit of delay and a bit of chorus on it, just to give it that sort of bit of space on it.
Yeah, that's a 2-channel amp, isn't it? I believe, and they got reverb on there, and
They have got reverb.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
I also have got a Valve amp. It was based on it's the same guy who's recorded me actually a few years ago, or maybe 5 or 6 years ago. He saw me live and he said, I'll build you an amp, and he hand built a Fender Tweed in his own style. I made the cabinet for it, and then for payment I made him a cabinet. And I gigged all over Europe with that. Gigged it for years, but now he's got an intermittent little like weird buzz on it, so he's back in his studio at the moment for him to repair it. And I do take that, but they're bloody heavy, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. So, and I really do like the clean AER, and with the AER also, I put my harmonica straight into it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't have any effects on that. Just a little bit of reverb off the amp. Yeah.
Right. Because I've got an AER, but I've not gigged it, so I know I've just had it in the house. And my idea was to have voice on one channel and guitar on the other, and use it like a little PA.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the Alpha you've got?
I think it's a 60-watt, a little cube one.
Yeah, I think I might even have the smaller one than that. There's an Alpha, and then but I have two inputs or two. I think it's one channel but two separate inputs or something like that. But I go over to France now and again, and I've used that just with a tiny little mixer thing in cafes and stuff. It's a fantastic sound. It's a really cool sound.
What, is your one speaker?
That's one speaker.
With your voice as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm. And there's a guy who gigs, Vo Fletcher, who gigs around Malvern Way and around about. And that's all he uses. He turns up with his AER and he, whacks through that. He's only got vocals and a guitar going through it. But I think they're bomb-proof. They're expensive. They're £600 or £700, aren't they? But
is there any books you're reading at the moment?
I'm just reading The Labyrinth. I think it was quite a famous book, maybe in the 90s or 80s. I'm not sure. It's a book about someone finds a bloody a cave with a labyrinth. It's a quite big, big thick book. One of these beach books, really. It's a bit light. Yeah. So then I finished reading the Sherwood, which is a retale of the Robin Hood tale, which is another light book. All these lockdown books I've been reading. Yeah. And then I've always got a book on the go though.
And what are you watching on telly?
Well, we don't have a telly on the boat, but we do have I have what's it called, Amazon Prime, which I downloaded in the workshop. We watch them on the boat, and the last film we watched was The Book of Eli. That was 2 days ago. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, with Denzel Washington.
I enjoyed it. It's a good film.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's like a Mad Max sort of.
That's right. Yeah, post-apocalyptical. Not very good watching in these days.
No.
This time.
There's a good thing on there that I might watch later on today myself. It's called The Biggest Little Farm, and it's about these people outside Los Angeles started up an eco farm from natural, like letting nature take over.
Oh wow!
And that looks really good, and that's on my Amazon Prime. I think it's about £2 to rent.
Oh my! Look at that.
I'll send you a link after. But there was good reviews on the radio today, so I thought I'll give it a go, and it looked good. So it's a homemade sort of film. Won a few awards. But it's nice. The way over 8 years they let nature take over, and it's like an eco, live with the animals sort of thing, and
Is that like a documentary?
Yeah, it's a movie documentary.
Oh wow!
But it looked really good. I'll send you a link, and then you can let me know what you think.
Yeah. My son and my daughter just recommended me a film called Platform. Have you seen that one?
No, I've not heard that one.
I think it's Spanish or something like that, but they reckon it's fantastic, about a prison, but it's all the prisons on platforms, and it's all about different hierarchy, obviously. And I don't know, they said it's an excellent film. It's subtitled, but they say it's easy subtitling.
Oh, right.
I mean. So we'll try and get that. Yeah.
So, is there any hobbies you got?
Hobbies, bloody hell.
Not musical. Anything you do that other than music?
it's basically bloody music in woodwork, really.
Okay.
and I don't know what else do I do. That's about it. But then with the woodwork, we go in different genres, if you know what I mean. I do a bit of making me guitars or making bits of furniture, but that is mainly work, I suppose. And if I'm not doing that, I'm usually playing music. But when I used to do a lot of wood carving, and I was thinking in this lockdown I might have another go at that. Which I've got some big logs. I want to make a big sort of green man, maybe. Yeah.
Getting back to the music quickly, where can people find more out about you? You obviously got your website.
Well, I've got my website, trevorbabajacksteger.com. I'm obviously on Spotify. Excuse me. I've got my Facebook page, my business one. I've got Trevor Babajack Music.
Okay.
Music, yeah. And there's music on all those. Yeah. I've done a few. I did a lockdown festival last week for the. I think it was the big lockdown festival. I've got something like 6,500 views or 6,000, which I was really chuffed with. But since then, I've been asked for doing Ain't Nothing But the Blues has asked me to do a show for them.
Right.
On Sunday. And then on the 21st of April, I'm doing one for Not Live at the Bell in Bath, just doing a half hour. And tomorrow I'm doing one, Gig Buddies. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
It's a charity, the Coronavirus Gig Buddies. But Gig Buddies are people who take out people with disabilities, or they take them to gigs, and so or introduce live music to them. And they've asked me to do a little live thing for them tomorrow. They're based in Brighton, I think. Yeah. Well, Facebook, it's amazing, isn't it, the technology?
Are these approaching you, or have you approached them?
Yeah. No, they've all approached me.
That's
so,
good.
yeah, so that's, I mean, it's a weird thing playing in front of your phone. But, I treated it as a gig, I just went in my bubble and did a little gig thing. So that's what I'm going to do the other ones, I think.
So what I normally do at the end, if you don't mind, is ask a couple of quick fire questions.
Okay.
So, they're just yes or no's, or so see what comes out quick. Okay. So see how you get on, Trevor. So cash or card?
Cash.
Are you a morning or night?
Night.
Stay or leave?
I stay.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea. Silence or conversation?
Silence, mostly by myself. Yeah.
Roots or rock?
Roots.
Harp or guitar?
Oh, I'd have to say guitar at the moment.
Guitar at the moment.
Yeah.
Good man. Well, great job, Trevor. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I hope it wasn't too painful for you.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. It was good fun. Yeah.
It'd
be good to meet up again sometime, maybe up to 1 year or what have you, so.
Yeah, well, I'd like to come across it was the church last time, wasn't it? The acoustic stage.
Yeah. Good gig, yeah.
Maybe I'll ask, is it you that does the bookings there, or is it Ruth or Stephen?
It's myself and Emma, my partner.
Oh, okay.
But this year, because it was cancelled, we're going to transpose, obviously, or put the festival onto next year for the same lineup, and everybody's into doing it. But certainly
after that,
after I'll definitely keep you in mind.
I might have a set by then.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, look after yourself.
And thanks for your efforts and work, and I'll look forward to the podcast when they come out or whatever. Yeah. Cheers, man. Well, look after yourself, keep safe, and all that malarkey.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. See ya.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.
Hey, it's Tommy Allen from TommyAllenMusic.com, and that was Trevor Babajack Steger speaking with me. You can find out more about him and his music at www.trevorbabajacksteger.com. Next week's guest is an old friend of mine, Mr. Marcus Malone. So come and check it out. Word from our director.
Yeah.